Locals launch a solidarity series to inspire and promote equity from the ground up. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News. First, Summit Fire and EMS has a new chief. Earlier today, longtime Chief Jeff Barino handed the reins to new Chief Travis Davis. Summit Fire's Steve Lipsher, soon after Barino announced retirement.
Chief Barino's shoes are huge, and his personality and his leadership style, all of those things are things that we're going to miss quite dearly.
Barino spent 4 decades with local fire departments and led the recent merger of Lake Dillon Fire, Copper Fire, and Summit Ambulance. He was named Colorado Fire Chief of the Year in 2019. Fire danger in Summit County is high today, the first time this summer. Backyard fires are allowed with a permit, same as fires in established fire rings at developed campgrounds. Fires are not allowed for dispersed camping. Most of the state is under red flag warning today as a 2,700-acre fire rages in southwestern Colorado on BLM land. A Breck woman gets 16 years for a fatal DUI. A Dillon pizza shop owner pleads guilty to child sex assault, and a suspected arsonist is arrested in Breck. 32-year-old Lindsay Lee Ward spends 16 years in prison for 2 vehicular homicide DUIs from 2019 when she hit and killed 2 other motorists on Highway 9 through Blue River. 51-year-old Craig Sikorsky, owner of Jersey Boys Pizza, faces up to 18 years in prison for 2 child sex assault and exploitation convictions, one from the 90s. He is serving time in Summit County Jail, sentenced this July. And 22-year-old Dillon Robinson was caught by U.S. Marshals near Breck Rec Center this past Sunday for suspected ties to a May 28th fire in Minneapolis when he and others are accused of burning a police station amid race riots. Home and condo sales plummeted in Summit County last month, while sales price jumped 10 to 47%. Summit Association of Realtors reports home sales were slashed in half compared to last May for a year-to-date decline of 32%. Condo sales fell 64%. Year-to-date, the market is down 27%. And yet prices remain high. Median home price was $1.1 million last month. Median condo price was $647,000. Meanwhile, in Aspen last week, a home on 5 acres near Aspen Golf Club sold for $21.5 million, nearly 3 times its assessed value for one of the priciest single-family home sales of the year in Colorado's high country. As the nation is racked by violent, destructive protests, a multi-ethnic group in Summit is making their voices heard through peaceful marches, impromptu dance, and passionate calls for change.
What I saw in solidarity was healing and beauty and everyone really standing and supporting one another.
That was Alexandria Carnes, co-owner of Majestic Mountain Tile and Stone, and one of many who spoke at the March for Solidarity in Breckenridge, June 1st.
It healed pains within me that I didn't even realize were there.
Local immigration attorney Kareem Lee was also at the march, and although she did not speak, it inspired her to grassroots action.
I think we've been ingrained to have our government tell us how to fix our problems rather than fixing them ourselves.
Lee, Carnes, and others are launching a series of solidarity talks, asking you to share your experience of inequity and hardship in Summit. Lee.
I've worked my butt off to assimilate and to be American, or whatever, everybody thinks American is, which is no accent and looking the part and feeling the part. And I think that on June 1st, I felt like, I can breathe. I don't have to be something I'm not. I can just be myself.
Tomorrow's inaugural Solidarity Talk is free and open to the public, starting 11 a.m. at Red Buffalo Coffee in Silverthorne. You can also watch it on Facebook Live by searching Solidarity Nation. COVID-19 exposed faults in Summit County's economy, where roughly 70% of our workforce is tied to tourism, and tens of millions of dollars depend on sales tax.
How do we get to the point that we can have that so that whatever new industry you invite into town can pay for the things that we all take for granted, that gets paid for, mainly by our guests?
That was Breckenridge Mayor Eric Mamula from a virtual meeting with the Breckenridge Tourism Office last week. Diversification comes with growing pains, like an even larger burden on local housing. But proponents, like Summit Chamber Executive Director Blair McGarry, says it must be done.
We're not excited about our worldwide pandemic by any means, but we are excited for the opportunity to build this really resilient economy and really foster a sustainable workforce here in Summit County.
Stay tuned all this week for interviews with local business owners, town officials, and startup experts for a series on Summit's unlikely opportunities in the wake of a pandemic. And in local sports, brought to you by American Family Insurance, the Weiss Agency, the Blue River through Silverthorne is open to boating again. Summit Sheriff lifted restrictions on the river today. It is flowing at 301 cubic feet per second, down from a high of 1,000 CFS just 2 weeks ago. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News.